Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Clark, and I'm the author of Awakening from Unconscious Resentment. This is the Art of Healthy Relationships channel that I've got here. And today I want to talk about something in my first chapter of my book. It's about using the silent treatment. You know, in healthy relationships, we don't get to that point where we feel like a volcano is about ready to explode inside of us because we're holding so much down. Maybe we don't even recognize that that's what's going on, but it's like a boiling. I remember for me, I was talking about that I feel like my blood is boiling at certain times, and it's because we're not learning how to get our voice. And so this particular aspect, it's kind of a nasty little thing that we do when we are so out of touch with ourselves. We are not used to using our voice. We're not used to saying what we need, what we want, what's hurting. We're not voicing those things. So it's stuffed down. And do you know what happens when you stuff things down for a really long time? Well, it ain't pretty, okay? Pardon the wrong use of English, but it ain't pretty. And one of the things that we'll do is, even when we're not even angry anymore, this is how bad it can get, that we still use what's called the silent treatment. When we're unhappy and not speaking our mind, we'll use the silent treatment. But we'll get to the point where we're not even angry when we're using the silent treatment. You may have experienced that with different relatives, people at your work. You know, instead of them bringing up what's bothering them, they just kind of regularly use the silent treatment on you because they're so angry and they can't say what it is, to the point that they'll even forget what they're even angry about, and still give you the silent treatment. So it's just a nasty deal, and it's important to be aware of it. So let me tell you a little story about a lady that I wrote about in my book. Her name is Ann M., and she wrote about this topic and said that there was a situation where she was at work, and it was really bothering her that they're using her for a lot of things that she felt like was, like things that are menial labor or things that you are extra and above and beyond the call of duty. And she resented it because no one else got asked to do these different things. She was the one that they would call upon, and she just felt used. But instead of expressing that feeling and those emotions, she just stuffed it down. And when they would have like a meeting, she would just be silent. Like, so this time they asked her to take somebody important to the airport. And it was on her own time, not paid, and she didn't want to do it. So instead of saying so, she just did the silent treatment in the meeting. And it was so strong and so powerful that there was literally energy in her body that came forth, and it was palpable. You could feel it in the room. And so finally her boss says, you know what? I don't know what's going on with you, but you're controlling this whole entire meeting with that little silent treatment thing you're doing there. And we've had enough of it. We're not going to take it anymore. And so she had to think about what the heck, and she realized that these people were right. She was learning how to manipulate the room, the people, the mood, the energy in the room that made the meeting dysfunctional because of her incredible, deep-seated anger that had now turned silent treatment. So there's so many other ways people use it. Sometimes it's just kind of hodgepodge, but for the most part, they don't tell you anything. They'll tell everybody else things that are going on in an important event. Like, for example, my mother's been in the hospital, and everybody else gets to know what's going on, and communication going on via text. Not me, for the most part, just a little tiny bit, and it's withheld from me. And then everybody else gets on the bandwagon because mom's not happy, so then they silent treat me, and they don't want to talk to me. Nasty little deal, but it's dysfunctional. And I'll tell you, the real right way to do this is to learn how to speak your mind and your heart on a regular basis. When you do it on a regular basis and you get used to just saying those little things, they don't add up to a volcano type level of frustration and anger and resentment that builds up so much that then you start shutting down even on yourself. So another situation that happens is that it goes deeper than that. Let me just read my little notes on the bottom of here, because this codependency is what this is all about, really. And it forms at a very young age, and it's usually among children of domineering, controlling adult role models that have role modeled this kind of stuff, this codependency, this dysfunctional way of communication, because we don't know how to speak our minds. So you give and give, sacrificing your own needs, for example, for the needs of others. And the truth is, a lot of the time, we don't even love doing it. We don't want to do it. We hate doing it. We're resentful doing it. So I say, why do it? If that's the way you're going to do it, it needs to be a genuine reason that we do what we do, not because we have to or because, we feel that that's just what is expected of you, because that's what builds that resentment. So when we don't communicate all of these feelings properly, we forget how to communicate our emotions even if we wanted to. So we get so out of touch with ourselves, we don't even know how we feel anymore. And if that continues on, then it becomes not just a silent treatment that you're meaning to give to people, but literally you just start getting traumatized all over the place until you are just completely silent, because you're frozen inside. Your emotions, you're numb. You're feeling traumatized because you can't handle what's going on, and you just shut down. The fear is too great. You shut down, and then you become silent. Now you don't even want to really be, but your voice becomes so teeny weeny small, no one can even hear you anyway, because you feel so bad about yourself and your life. You just become smaller and smaller and smaller, and you become silent till you've lost yourself, and your identity is slipping out the door. You're allowing it to, because you're not communicating your feelings, and you're feeling like nobody's hearing you, that you don't exist, that no one even notices that you exist. And who has done this? We do this to ourselves. So I just want to encourage you to begin to speak your mind in the little things. It's something really little, like, say, for example, I was always forgetting to put down the toilet lid, and that really, really bothers you. And you might just, I don't know, just say, I just want to say, I haven't said it for a long time, but I just so bad hate that you leave that toilet lid open, because when you do, our cat goes and drinks out of it. That's actually true in my family. And for whatever reason, you just don't like it. And, you start to say these little things instead of holding it all in, and it is all adding up to so much. So anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about the silent treatment. It can really be bad. Dan, my husband, had that in his life where his ex-wife wasn't able to say what she needed and wanted, and it ended up in their complete breakdown, and she ended up, not being married to him anymore because she couldn't communicate. That's the bottom line of it. So anyway, I just wanted you to understand what the silent treatment was all about in the codependency type family, sick family relationship rules. That this is kind of the dysfunctional way that we use in a manipulative way to use the silent treatment to even get what we want, you know what I mean? To get noticed, to get attention, to let it be known that you're angry, that you're not happy, instead of just saying it. People can't read our minds, you know what I mean? We have to learn how to say what it is that's bothering us. We can't think that they know. They can't know. You have to speak it. People just, I don't know, they don't read our minds, okay? So anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope that maybe you'll start being able to speak your mind beginning tonight. Okay, thanks guys. Have a wonderful night. I hope you had a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.